Greetings, study skills. Please listen as I give out some instructions. First of all, make sure nobody is on the other side of the room. Brandon and Eric, that includes you guys. Make sure you are on the smartboard side of the room. Those students that may go on the other side of the room, Angel, you may continue working on signs. Ariana, Mary, you guys also may be working on signs. Bailey, you can be working on the 8th grade DVD, and you can only have up to 2 other people in the office there, and nobody can be on their phones. So you guys have to be working. Alright, everybody else, please be taking notes as we are going through a simple lesson here, and then they'll be followed with a worksheet. So if you don't already have your math notes out, please take out your math notes. Okay, as we're going through this, make sure you guys are in your assigned seats. To make it easier for attendance. There will be no rocket building while I am out of class. And again, please take out your math notes, and as I go through this, please copy down all of the titles and copy down all of the triangles that I go through. Kala, come on, take out your notebook. Hannah, that includes you. And here we go. Alright, exploring triangles. Please keep up as I go through this. Write down everything that I'm going through. First one that we're going to start with. Now don't just write down all of this all at the same time. So write them down as we get to them. So the very first triangle that we're going to go through is the acute triangle. So we're going to classify triangles based off of their properties. Okay, so for acute triangles are not triangles with little pretty fancy hair ribbons. They're not cute triangles, they are acute triangles. So for an acute triangle, the rules for an acute triangle is that the angles on the interior here, so this angle, and this angle, all angles must be less than 90 degrees. So it could be all the same angles, 60, 60, 60. We could have 60, 70, those are both less than 90. And what's going to be the missing side? And remember that all 3 sides of a triangle add up to be 180 degrees. So 60 plus 70, that's 130. The missing degrees for that would be 50. So it could be 50, 60, 70 for your 3 sides. It could be any combination of angles as long as each and every of those 3 angles is less than 90. And that's going to classify it as an acute triangle. Okay, so if you don't have that already written down, please keep up. Maybe write a little bit faster. Okay, so you can stay on pace so that we're not going to have to pause this. Okay, so that's acute. Check that one off. Equiangular. Okay, an equiangular triangle. Equiangular. Hopefully you could have guessed it already. Is it has equal angles. So an equiangular triangle looks like this. Okay, all 3 of these angles are the exact same degree. Okay, so what I did there, if you weren't paying attention, take a look now, is to classify the angle. Okay, I write a thing here, and I put one little tick mark, that's to indicate a specific degree. And if I put the same exact tick mark on all 3, that's indicating, even if it's not quite drawn exactly right, it's indicating that those 3 angles are the exact same angle. And so for an equiangular triangle, for all 3 of those to be the same, you just take the 180, divide it by the exact 3, and you're going to get 60 as your resulting answer. So each of 3 of those angles is 60, 60, and 60. So 6, 12, 18, that's 180 degrees. Okay, so an equiangular triangle always has angles that are the exact same degree for all 3, and the only way that can happen is if they're all 360. Okay? Alright, going back. Equiangular, that one's done. Obtuse. An obtuse triangle has one angle measure that is greater than 90 degrees. Right there. Oh, that didn't work. Let's connect our dots here. There we go. Okay, so it has one angle there. Let's call that A for angle. Okay, the angle has to be greater than 90 degrees. Can't be the same as 90 degrees. It has to be greater than 90 degrees. So 90.5, 91, 93, 106 has to be greater than 90 degrees. And that is for obtuse. And it only has to have one angle that is greater than 90. So for acute, they are all less than 90. For equiangular, they're all the same, so they're 60 degrees. And for an obtuse triangle, one side has to be greater than 90 degrees. So an example, let's do, we could do 30, 30, 30 and 30 is 60, so to get to 180, I would need then a 120 degree angle. Okay, and that would work. That would work as an obtuse angle. And 120 is greater than 90, so that checks off, so that is an obtuse triangle. Okay, so that's obtuse. Okay, for a right triangle, that's what we were just working with when we were finding our tangents. Okay, so for a right triangle, you have one angle that is exactly 90 degrees. And with that being 90 degrees, if you take your total 180 degrees, subtract your 90, you are left with 90. So then it's really easy if you are given one of the other two angles. Let's say this is 40. The other angle automatically has to be 50, because these two added up together must also equal your 90 degrees. So instead of working with 180, you can already take off that 90 automatically to figure out what the missing length is, if they give you at least one other length. So right triangle has to have at least one angle that is 90 degrees. The other two angles also add up to be 90, so that as a sum, or as a total, they all add up to be 180 degrees. Okay, that's your right triangle. Other triangles don't like this one so much because this triangle is always right. Okay, that's right triangle. Okay, scalene triangle. Next one. Scalene triangle. The measures of the angles are all different. So while this, so that's indicated like so. So one tick mark there, two tick marks there, 1, 2, 3. That's showing that there is no congruence among those three sides. So all three sides are different. Write this down. Different lengths. Lengths. That's not how you spell it. TH. Okay, they're all different lengths. So a scalene triangle, all three legs are not the same. They're all three different lengths. Okay, next one, equilateral triangle. Okay, an equilateral triangle is just like the equiangular triangle. Looks the exact same because it is the same. And this one here. And hopefully I drew that pretty close to scale. The nice thing is I can put tick marks here. That's the same length, that's the same length, that's the same length. So it's equilateral. So equilateral triangles are also equiangular triangles. Because in order for all three lengths to be the exact same, the angles must also be the exact same length. So equilateral triangle, all three sides, exact same length. Okay, that's equilateral triangles. That one's done. We did scalene. Okay, so next one, isosceles triangles. Isosceles. Kind of by a vowel, it has a lot. Alright, so isosceles triangles is any triangle that we draw that has two lengths that are the same. So, this was an isosceles triangle. This length must be the exact same as that length. And I know some of you are looking at this and you're saying they're not the same length. Okay, let's pretend they are. Okay, and that would be an isosceles triangle. And what's also nice with isosceles triangles and helping to determine the total. You're looking for the angles on the inside. The opposite angle, so opposite of that length is this one, and opposite of this leg is this angle. Those two angles are also the same. So an isosceles triangle has two angles that are the same and one that is not. It has two legs that are the same and one that is not. So I give you an isosceles triangle, and I'm just not going to draw straight lines here. And I gave you this length, give you these two, and I told you that the degree here on the inside was, let's say, 60 degrees. No, let's not say 60, let's say a different one. Let's say that was 40 degrees. Could you then find the other two measures of the other bottom angles? Yeah. Take 180, subtract the 40, you get 140. And because those two are the same length, exact length, you just divide that by 2. So it would mean that the other two angles are 70. Okay, so this triangle then, if I wanted to identify it, it is isosceles. So between scalene, isosceles, and equilateral, it is isosceles. Okay, that's one label. What is another label? Yep, Cynthia, that's right. That is also a... Whoops, wrong one. That is also, sorry, I misheard you. That is also an acute triangle, because all three of the measures are less than 90 degrees. Okay, all three of those less than 90. So when you're going through on the worksheet, if it asks you to label the triangles, you're going to have an option between acute, equiangular, obtuse, and right. And then you're going to have a choice between scalene, equilateral, and isosceles. So it might have more than one label. Okay, and that is going to be it for now. We're done for the part. You're not going to get a worksheet to work on. Please work on this quickly, and do not get up and move to different tables. Work on this at your assigned seat. Thank you.